change your enemy or your ally? Welcome to today's topic, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Coach Tobias Forst, founder of Achilles Life Coaching, decade-long recipient of narcissistic abuse, and I've saved myself from it, and I accompany you on your journey to your personal freedom. So, when you think about change in your life, whatever the magnitude, often it came at an unbidden time, in an unwelcome manner. You might have considered it your enemy. You didn't want that change to come into your life. In other aspects, at other times, it was more than welcome, with your doing, without your doing, and you might have considered it your ally. So what are we going through today is we will go through two stories from Egyptian mythology that have two things in common. First, the god Seth, or Sutash in its original pronunciation, and the concept of change. This video should help you, that is my intention, not only to deal with your situations, past and present, with narcissists in your life, but in a very broad way going forward into your personal future, how you approach change, how you view it, and to minimize where you might consider it in the future as your enemy, and even more so as an ally. So, story number one, let's call it Seth versus Osiris. Two brothers, Seth, the regent of Egypt, reigning supreme as a benevolent king, the ruler of this old world. Seth was promised half of the kingdom, but he wanted it all, and he was planning and scheming to overthrow his brother. Now here comes your role, ladies and gentlemen, in times when change was not welcome, when you considered change your enemy. You had your Osiris moment, your moment of willful blindness, your part of the role in receiving, let's say, narcissistic abuse for over months and years sometimes, ignoring the red flags about them conditioning you, lying to you, gaslighting you. So over time you start gaslighting yourself. And we all had those Osiris moments where we ignored that change that comes into our lives, that realization, when finally it clicks at the moment when Seth approaches Osiris, his brother, fights him, destroys him in the most literal way by dismembering him and spreading the body parts of Osiris across the land. This might be akin to your realization how much of a role narcissistic abuse has played in your life. And gosh, shouldn't you have seen it back then when this happened, when all the data points of that behavior toward you accumulated? This is the unwelcome change, the moment of realization that parts of your life have been a lie. There's a video for that. You can find it up on the screen right now. So change in this concept rides in unbidden, unwanted, and with one of the most destructive forces that you've ever experienced. That is why Seth, as the only god in the Egyptian pantheon, was painted as, displayed as an animal that never existed. It was a hybrid of several animals. And the reason behind this, at least this is the way I see it, I interpret it, this kind of malevolent change and realization, you've never seen anything like it. That's why he looks the way he looks. The picture you see for the video, the thumbnail, is my interpretation of Seth with sort of a snake crocodile look to it, inspired by both the Egyptian mythology as well as the depiction of Seth in a board game by the company Cool Mini or Not. And it's brutal. That type of change is brutal. And we've all had our times and moments where we willfully refused to look at what was right there. That concludes story number 1. When change might be considered by you as your enemy. Story number 2. Seth versus Apophis. There's the following setting. You have the sun god Ra on his ship, the sun barge. And there are a couple of other gods aiding him on his journey across the sky. And every night, after sunset, he and his companions, which include Seth on the ship, enter Duat, the underworld. And in this underworld, there is a flying gigantic snake by the name of Apophis. And the goal of Apophis was to eat the ship, to consume them all, to destroy the sun and thereby life itself, to make night eternal, the forever darkness. Apophis was capable of hypnotizing all the gods on the ship, including Ra, all the gods but one. The only one who was immune to this kind of sorcery was none other than Seth. And Seth grabbed his spear and thrust it into the snake of standstill, the snake of eternal night. And he killed it, he impaled it, he destroyed Apophis. So a new dawn could happen, and the sun would rise again. And this, ladies and gentlemen, for you means that while Apophis revived itself, regenerated, the threat of the eternal night for your personal spiritual development, your personal emotional development, your physical being, yes, it is always there. It regenerates. It is not enough to solve this once in your life. But change in this concept, Seth with his spear, is on your side. So the next night, crossing Duat, facing Apophis yet again, change destroys this threat. So a new dawn and a new day can happen. I would like you to ask yourself especially for the bigger changes that come up in your lives, in the future, going forward, starting today. Where do you think you have possible Osiris moments because you have ignored in a willfully blind way actual facts that if you only considered them with open eyes and by paying attention, would lead you to a different course of action? Because only willful blindness makes that destructive version of Seth so strong that it can, in a metaphorical way, destroy you. Or is change your ally? Is change your ally that takes up the spear in your name and impales the snake of eternal standstill, so that a new dawn can happen, a new day breaks. It is up to you, ladies and gentlemen. I encourage you to disband with willful blindness and look at what is happening in your life, regardless of how it might make you feel. Because the truth is preferable to living a lie. That includes your choice of partner, your inner negative self-talk, And the list is long. You catch my drift. Or is change your ally that is armed with a spear with determination and mere inevitability. Change cannot be stopped. It cannot be made to sleep, not to laze around. Change is coming. And you, ladies and gentlemen, have it in your hands to make and create your own new dawn, your own new day, each and every day. Be your own hero. Be your own heroine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.